Hi everyone, this will be a reading for Act 1, Scene 3, and you should have your reading guide open to Act 1, Scene 3, and also have your book open. The page number should be 53. A room in Capulet's house, Lady Capulet and the nurse enter. Lady Capulet: Nurse, where's my daughter? Tell her to come to me. Nurse: Now, by my virginity, when I was 12 years old, I told her to come. Calls to Juliet: Lamb, Lady Bird, heavens above, where is that girl? Juliet! Juliet enters. Juliet: What is it? Who's calling? Nurse: Your mother. Juliet: Madame, I am here. What do you want? Lady Capulet: I'll tell you. Nurse, leave us for a while. We must talk in secret. Pause. Nurse, come back again. I just remembered that you are to hear our plan. You know my daughter is at the marrying age. Nurse: Indeed, heavens, I can tell her age to the exact hour. Lady Capulet: She's not quite 14. Nurse: I wouldn't wager 14 of my teeth, and yet it is my misfortune to admit I have only 4. That she's not 14. How many days until Lammastide? Lady Capulet: A bit over 2 weeks. Nurse: Even or odd, of all the days of the year, on the evening of July 31st she'll be 14. Susan and she, God rest all Christian souls, were the same age. Well, Susan is with God. She was too good for me. But as I said, on the evening of July 31st, Juliet will be 14. To think she might get married. I remember her birth well. It is now 11 years since the earthquake and since she was weaned. I'll never forget it. Of all the days of the year, I remember that day. I'd used a bitter herb on my breast to wean her, and I was sitting in the sun next to the dove house wall. You and my lord were in Mantua at the time. I do have a good memory, but as I said, when the baby tasted the herb on the nipple of my breast and found it was bitter, and a pretty little thing became fretful and didn't want to nurse any more, then the dove house shook from the earthquake. There was no need for anyone to have to tell me to run away. Since that time it's been 11 years, for by then she could stand up alone. Indeed, I swear by the cross she could run and waddle all around. Just the day before she'd fallen on her forehead, and then my husband, God rest his soul, was a happy man, picked her up and said, Did you fall on your face? You'll fall backward when you know more, won't you, Juliet? And I swear the pretty child stopped crying and said, Yes. To see now how a joke turns out, I swear if I live 1,000 years I'll never forget it. Won't you, Juliet? He asked, and the pretty child stopped crying and said, Yes. Lady Capulet: That's enough, nurse. Please be quiet. Yes, madame, laughing, but I can't help laughing to think that she should stop crying and say, Yes. And yet, I swear she had a bump on her forehead as big as a rooster's comb. She took a bad fall, and she cried bitterly. So you fell on your face? Said my husband. You'll fall backward when you are older, won't you, Juliet? And she stopped crying and said, Yes. Juliet: And you must stop, too. I beg you, nurse. Enough. I'm finished. God bless you. You were the prettiest baby I've ever nursed. If I can live to see you married, I'll have my wish. Lady Capulet: Indeed, marriage is the very subject I came to talk about. Tell me, Juliet, how do you feel about getting married? Juliet: It's an honor I've never dreamed of. Nurse: An honor? If I weren't your only nurse, I'd say that you sucked wisdom from your nurse's breast. Lady Capulet: Well, think about marriage now. There are younger women than you, ladies of esteem living here in Verona, who are mothers already. If I count correctly, I became your mother at the same age you are now. So, in short, the brave Paris wants you to be his love. Nurse: A man, young lady. Lady, he's such a man as the entire world, while he's the handsomest model of a man. There's not a summer flower in Verona that can match him. Nurse: He is a flower, truly a real flower. Lady Capulet: What do you say, Juliet? Do you think you can love the gentleman? Tonight you'll see him at our banquet. Read young Paris's face carefully, and you'll find delight written there with beauty's pen. Examine each different feature and see how one feature complements the others. Read the concealed inner qualities of character written in the margins of his shining eyes. This precious book of love, this unbound lover, only needs a wife to make him more handsome. The fish lives in the sea, and it's wonderful that something beautiful is hidden in something beautiful. In the many people's eyes, a book is so also glorious. When golden clasps on the cover bind a good story, you too will share everything Paris has. By marrying him, you'll not lower your position. Nurse. No less. You'll be even bigger. Women get pregnant. Lady Capulet to Juliet. Tell me briefly, can you accept Paris as a lover? Juliet. I will look at him with the intention of liking him, if looking can make me like him. But I won't look any further than you wish me to look. A servant enters. Servant to Lady Capulet. Madame, the guests have come. Supper is served. You have been called. My young lady's presence had been requested. The nurse is being cursed in the kitchen because she isn't helping. And everything is happening at once. I must go immediately to serve. I beg you to follow me immediately. Lady Capulet. We'll follow you. Servant exits. Juliet, the Count is waiting. Nurse. Go, girl. Find happy nights to go with your happy days. They leave.